What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today, I'm going to be trying to push once again towards the legend rank here in the Go Battle League. It's been an interesting climb so far. I've been stuck in the 2800s for quite some time now. Let's see, I'm at 2845 to start off the video. I'm going to be trying out a Shadow Altaria team today, because Shadow Altaria, I feel like, is a Pokemon that is a little bit underrated right now. It is still pretty bulky as Altaria, a very bulky Pokemon in general. The Shadow does make it a little bit squishier, but it gives it a lot more damage in quite a few different matchups. I'm going to pair it with Shadow Quagsire and Empoleon. Let's get into the battles and see what this team can do. I'm going to be doing this one fully live for the YouTube audience. Normally when I do my battles, I'm also live on Twitch, but this time, no Twitch audience, just for you guys. It's all on YouTube. Hopefully it's going to be some fun, and hopefully the queue times aren't too bad here. We'll see if we can find a match here in just a second. And actually had a bit of a queue time here for the first game here. I didn't expect to need a cut this early in the video, but I guess we had to. But, I mean, interestingly, we see a Molga into Shadow Altaria. Oh my goodness, instant swap out into a Morgrim? That's insane. I feel like this is trying to bait out a steel type, right? There's like no way this is just a random team. This has got to be a reason. They're trying to bait out Empoleon right now, right? But I guess I don't necessarily need switch against a Molga. I bet if they get shields down, they're probably in a pretty good spot anyway. So we'll see what's going to happen. I'm going to go here for the Hydro Cannon. I'm at back-to-back right now, so I wonder if we end up getting a shield or not. Morgrim does have a decent amount of attack on it, though, so they might just straight up win CMP against us here, which they do. I was a little bit late on the swap in, so that's a little bit awkward, I suppose, but I don't think I need switch advantage, at least not as much as they probably want this game, so I'll let this go. I think I'll come in Quagsire here, build up some energy, and hope at this point that energy lead on Quagsire, plus the fact that I have Altaria in the back line, will be good enough to win this game. They are out of foul play right now. They could shield this if they want to get the shields down, but I feel like a Molga, if shields go down, is pretty useless for them, so they likely do let this go, no matter what. Yeah, and then we see, I guess, either maybe their final Pokemon, maybe, though they bring in Emolga? They do, that's interesting. They must have something in the backline really good into Altaria then if they're doing that. I'm going to full send a Stone Edge. Might be a bad play, but I feel like getting shields down guaranteed would be good, or getting a potential one-shot would be pretty nice as well. Yeah, like that. I mean, that's a pretty good way to start out here. And Shadow Malamar in the back. Okay. Well, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say Shadow Quagsire is a hard counter to this by any means, but it's very neutral. We have Altaria with some fast food pressure. All we really need to do is land an Aqua Tail, and then I think we can just Dragon Breath all the way down. Shadow into Shadow. These Dragon Breaths are going to start hurting a little bit, although honestly not as much as you might expect. I'm going to shield, obviously. I kind of have to shield something this game. This is one of the last moves they can throw. And I want to guarantee Dragon Breaths are going to be able to knock him out. Quagsire doesn't have anywhere near as much fast move pressure. Even if they do land a foul play, though, despite me being a Shadow Altaria, I think I'll survive this pretty comfortably. I guess we'll get to find out in just a second, because they do get a second one at the last minute here. But we don't have any shields. We can't shield it up, but yeah, we do survive. We Dragon Breath down. And we get a pretty nice win here in the first game, which is kind of interesting. I wasn't expecting that team, I'm going to be real. Morgrim is a Pokemon, I don't know why, but it oftentimes gives me quite a bit of trouble here in GBL, so I'm glad we were able to beat that one. And, I mean, Shadow Altaria didn't do too much. It was really just like Empoleon and Quagsire that game, but Shadow Altaria, it was there. It didn't lose, so I guess that's all you can really ask for. And our next opponent here, we are getting some queue times today, so I'm probably going to be cutting between battles a little bit just to make sure that it's not too bad for you guys. We see a Clodsire in the lead. I'm going to bring in my Empoleon here, because I don't know for sure if this is going to be the case, but I've seen a lot of teams recently that are like Clodsire, Galarian Moltres, and Feraligatr. And if that is the case, I feel like potentially my safe swap Empoleon is going to be pretty hard for them to take down, and we do see the Moltres come in like we were potentially thinking. And since I have such a big energy lead, I think I'm in a pretty good spot to guarantee that I can win switch advantage this game. Although if it is that Feraligatr in the backline, going down shields could be kind of bad for us, so I might honestly just take the shield advantage here, because they have to either Payback or Brave Bird to knock us out from this range. I'm going to let this go and hope it's just a fly. But I guess we'll find out in just a second here. They do fly, so I get both shields for free right now. That's kind of huge. I'm not going to lie, that is one of the best things that we could see here. Potentially, though, they do shield this up, right? Because at this point, they need to either win switch or shield advantage. They can't give up both. But I think at this point, Altaria, going to try to go for a farm down, don't quite get it. I'm going to just invest in Quagsire. It could be a mistake, but I feel like if it is a Feraligatr in the back line, then my Quagsire is going to be my win condition. They do throw energy against us there. Is it the Clodsire that comes back in? It is, so we're going to swap. Try to go for a catch on a Stone Edge. Doesn't quite work, but there it is, the Feraligatr. And I'm going to throw an Aqua Tail early. You might be wondering, why would I do this? I should just go for a Stone Edge, right? Well, one Stone Edge doesn't one-shot either way. And by going for this, since we have desync fast attacks, I guarantee to deny them a Shadow Claw by doing this. I need a Stone Edge plus an Aqua Tail anyway. I might as well just guarantee as much energy here as I can. So now they are at a potential Hydro Cannon. They're one away from the next, so I go for that Stone Edge as quickly as I can, get the knockout here. And then, I mean, there is a decent amount of energy on that Clodsire, but I should be able to land an Aqua Tail into them, and hopefully an Aqua Tail plus a move from my Altaria will be enough. Yeah, I mean, they don't even want to play it out. That's great. I was going to say, it could get a little bit scary if they bait us here, but I guess they don't play it out. We get the win pretty easily there. Love to see it. And we got our next game here. Hopefully Altaria can start doing something, because honestly, Altaria has just kind of been a cameo appearance here in the last couple of games. This is not super ideal, I'll be honest. Not the best lead I could see. We see a Ninetales, unfortunately for us, and I don't love this. I'm going to go, though, for an Aqua Tail before they can Chilling Water us, just in case that is what they're going to go for. Again, I know I could go for a Stone Edge here, but if they're staying in, I want to get some guaranteed chip damage against them, and I'm fine taking whatever they're about to throw. Likely it will be a Chilling Water, saying they built up to 6. And then will be a debuffed Quagsire into whatever they have in the back. But the Switch Clock has been pretty desynced at this point, right? So maybe this isn't the end of the world. We bait out a Quagsire. I don't love what we're probably going to see in the back line, because I would imagine at this point, whatever the final Pokemon is going to be pretty good into Empoleon. Oh, but they throw pretty quickly here. That's kind of interesting. They're at 6, I believe, so 2. And that means that they're 4 away from a potential Stone Edge. I wonder if they're going to bait us or not. I do have Shadow Dragon Breath, which hurt quite a bit. But they might, at this point, bait us here. And if they bait, that's not great. But if they don't bait, I'm happy. Okay, good. So they should be 7 away from the next move. Hopefully I Dragon Breath down in time. It's not looking like it, so I have to go for a catch here, unfortunately. Dang, if I got that full farm down, then I'd have a lot of energy for that Altaria, or for that Ninetales, rather. Which, I mean, I still have the energy, right? But as shields are still up in their favor... Whoa! What? What? They bring in the Ninetales into my Empoleon? I don't know what they could have in the back that would be weaker to us right now. I don't know. Was that just a big misplay by them? It must have been, because Guzzlord's not that bad into us. What the heck? I'm so confused right now. We have a lot of energy on Altaria. Why did they do that? I'm so confused. Well, I guess at this point it's just a fast move game. 6, so they're at 3. I mean, the play here, I guess, is no shield Empoleon. Just Dragon Breath through everything then. I don't know why they did that. I'm gonna be completely honest. I feel like that was maybe the worst play they could have made. That should just be a Brutal Swing, but I don't think they even get another Brutal Swing off as long as I shield this. The Shadow Dragon Breaths actually coming in clutch here. They do so much damage to Guzzlord, and they also do extra damage to Shadow Quagsire too, so I guess Shadow Altaria putting in some work here. Oh, I guess they do get a move off. That is a little bit unfortunate. We will take a bit of damage, but as long as it's not a Dragon Glob, we will not get knocked out. Yeah, we just farm everything down. They decided not to use their shields, which I guess, you know, that's fine by them. I have so much energy here. Even if they did use their shields, I mean, they wouldn't have won, so we'll take the win. That was an interesting team. I don't know how we just won that one so easily. Next opponent, wow, a legend? Oh my goodness. Well, we're not quite legend ourselves yet, so we'll see what they're running. Fortress, okay. Whenever I see non-Shadow Fortress, I think Volt Switch is more likely. Yeah, that is going to be what we see here. And that is going to be a pretty neutral matchup. Obviously, I do have access to Flamethrower here, which could one-shot them, so I'm going to bait because I'm kind of crazy. If I do get rid of this Pokemon, hopefully my Empoleon in the backline, though, is going to be at least a little bit more opened up. I am a Shadow Altaria, so we take a bit more damage than I might like from potential Rock Tombs here. So I will shield this up myself. And we'll see if they go for like a crazy Sand Tomb bait or something. No, just a Rock Tomb, so they will debuff my attack stat. And at this point, do we go for another bait? I'm going to try it. You know, I feel like at this point, you might as well just triple down on all the baits if you can. This should be able to do quite a bit of damage to them, even if they do let it go. And they do shield, okay. Okay, I'm going to try to catch a move here. Looks like we were successful in the catch. Rock Tomb, though, will lower my Quagsire's attack stat. But I would imagine Quagsire's not quite as important for us this game, saying we are seeing a Fortress in the lead, so likely whatever they have in the back is good against us. Although, I mean, we know from experience, Stone Edge into Altaria does quite a bit of damage, so This is actually not as bad for me as I was expecting. They are at a Sky Attack right now. They have 13 Dragon Breaths. Wow, that does so much damage. I know I'm debuffed too, but like, it doesn't even look like it, right? I'm just gonna go for the Aqua Tail just to make it so it's an easier farm down for the backline. I feel like at this point, I might even be able to Dragon Breath down before they get a move. Maybe not, because they can overfarm a bit more here. They're actually at, like, back-to-back attacks, right? So, I'll let this go. What do they have in the back, then, though? That's gonna be the next question, I suppose. I'll come in with my Empoleon here, just because, I mean, Flamethrower, while that will hurt quite a bit, I should be able to survive it. I'll come out of this matchup with a lot of energy, and maybe the energy is all I need to win this game. Wow, they bring in this thing? Is that just a Sand Tomb? It is! Okay, that's strange. A little bit of lag here. Hopefully that's not going to matter too much. We do get the Flamethrower off. I'm so surprised by the Sand Tomb play. I'm glad I was counting correctly, because if I wasn't, that could have been slightly embarrassing. But they do likely get a farm down against us with whatever they have in the back. But it's with a Shadow Celio. That's not exactly amazing into Empoleon, right? So I should be in a pretty playable spot here, as long as we don't let a catch happen. With that said, Surf, while it is resisted, is still going to do a decent chunk of damage to us here. So I need to make sure a catch doesn't happen. 8. So they're 1 away here from the next Body Slam, potentially. But they do go for Body Slam, right? They're never going to go for a... Oh, no, they do Surf. Okay, we see him stay in. We go for the Drill Peck. And because of this, as long as this knocks out, I should be fine here. If this doesn't knock out, they might get a Body Slam into us, making things a little bit scarier. No, that is just enough damage. Altaria has no energy left. We farm down. What a game. That was actually super close. The Celio in the backline, not amazing to see, but I mean, making the proper reads with Altaria, and I guess with Quagsire catching the Rock Tomb, rather, that was really important. So I think we're 4-0 right now in the set. Let's see if we can get that 5-0. All right, last opponent of the set here. Queue times are already a little bit of an issue, which is kind of scary, saying I'm doing well in this set, right? It might be even worse for me after this, but I mean, you guys don't have to worry about that. That's the power of YouTube editing. Anyway, Cradillion lead into Shadow Altaria is actually not that bad for us, because I do have access to quite a bit of damage with my Dragon Breaths. I am a little bit worried if we're seeing Cradilly here, that maybe my Empoleon in the backline's not going to be quite as useful, but yeah, look at that damage, right? That's not bad. 9. Okay. I think I'm going to shield this up. I feel like it's not a bad play here. At least chip this down a little bit more with Dragon Breath damage. I can outpace just barely to the next Sky Attack right before they get their next Rock Tomb through. So that should be able to knock him out or get a shield. And if they end up going for a shield here, then I think I'm fine letting my Altaria take a move, maybe farm down with my backline against this. Or maybe, like, do I ever double shield this? That could be a crazy play. I don't think I double shield, though. I think I let this go. I am worried what could be in the back. There's a lot of things that could be paired with Cradilly that potentially Empoleon wouldn't want to see, but if Empoleon has a big energy lead, then it's not quite as bad for us. 3 Metal Sounds. I was hoping to get 4, if I'm being honest, but we'll see what comes in. It's a Feraligatr, which I'm going to hopefully be able to knock out with my Empoleon, and then I'm hoping the final Pokemon's actually playable for Quagsire. We've seen 2 Pokemon so far pretty good into Quagsire. But yeah, we basically 2-shot here with the Drill Pecks. And unless they're on Crunch, they have to go for Hydro Cannon into us here. So I'm going to no-shield this and just hope for the best right now. Even Crunch wouldn't do that much. Yeah, just a Hydro. Okay. Oh, let's go. That's not bad to see at all. Although it is more awkward than you'd expect for a ground type, just because this thing does have access to the Steel Water typing, which does resist all of the damage I'm going to be throwing here. But I can hopefully at least whittle this down enough that it's not that big of a problem. This is where having Mud Bomb on Quagsire could be helpful, but I mean, I saw so many situations already today where having Aqua Tail and Stone Edge was good, so I can't be too picky, I don't think, with that. Okay, they're overfarming just a little bit here. I'm going to shield this up, because I literally have to at this point. I need this Empoleon gone. I have almost no HP remaining on my own Empoleon, so I've got to get this thing either out of here, or I need to make sure the Feraligatr has to throw energy against us as quickly as we can. Aqua Tail should take him out. We're very close to... Oh, or we get his shield? Interesting. I mean, I think I'm fine here just to go for back-to-back Drill Pecks now with my Empoleon. So I have him ready to go, right? I'm kind of surprised they shielded that. I thought they were going to try to go for a catch at some point, but they didn't. All right, Drill Peck. Hopefully enough damage at this point to knock him out. We will see if they get a Hydro Cannon off them. No, that is just straight up enough. We have a Hydro too as well. Just guarantee the KO against the Empoleon. Very close game. It could have been a little bit of a risky backline there. Like, if they ended up going for a catch on an Aqua Tail on the Gator, I feel like that game could have gone a little bit south. But just forcing the energy out of the Empoleon was really all we needed. And I think that's a 5-0. That's kind of crazy. You know, I do one set off stream, and it feels so much easier. It's kind of crazy how that works when people don't know exactly what you're running and what you're going to do. But, you know, it's how it goes. 2900s, first time this season. I feel kind of bad. I haven't gone to the 2900s yet. You know, YouTube, you guys are going to get to see this first. Twitch chat, they don't need to know about this. All right, next opponent. The Q time's actually not that much worse, saying I did just climb quite a bit there. Shadow Annihilate. Okay. I wonder if Shadow Annihilate could potentially be on counter. I've seen a couple people still stick on counter. Yeah, it looks like it is, actually. So we'll see how this matchup plays out. I think Shadow into Shadow is actually a lot better for me, just because the Dragon Breath damage will be able to farm them all the way down in the 2-shield scenario. One bad thing about this matchup is there's actually just so much visual clutter on the screen. It is sometimes a little bit hard to tell if they're actually staying in or catching. But I am going to go for this move. They do go for a Rage Fist, which makes sense. They're trying to boost against us, get as much damage here as they can. But honestly, I'm not that good against Annihilate on my team, so if I can just neutralize this with my Altaria, I'm very fine with that. So I guess the play is going to be double shield farm down. And if they do switch, I guess hopefully we have a way to neutralize whatever they bring in. If they stay in, I'd love to get this energy lead, so we'll see what happens. Looks like they are staying in. They go for another Rage Fist there, because, I mean, why not? At that point, that would be enough damage to knock us out. I have a lot of energy. What comes in here? Something that I definitely don't want to give a farm down over to is we're going to bring in our Quagsire as quickly as we can. 6. All right. They are staying in, though, which is a little bit scary, because what if my Quagsire would be helpful in the backline? They do let that go. Makes sense. But now I get a second Aqua Tail through, and if they let this one go, then they're going to be in a spot where they have to solely rely on their third Pokemon, basically, to win this game. And they do let that go. 8. 9. They're at back-to-back Swifts. All right, well, I can survive a Swift on my Empoleon here, but since they haven't switched yet, I will wait down my switch clock. That way, if I do need to bring in my Altaria, which, keep in mind, has so much energy on it, then I will be able to switch out. And I can take this energy pretty well on Empoleon, but I would be surprised to see them throw it. Okay. I have so much energy here. I'm going for maybe a risky bait, though. I feel like they kind of have to shield this up no matter what. Yeah, we do get his shield. That should be game over at this point, because we just have a Flamethrower. Maybe I didn't even have to bait. I had so much energy. I could have probably just gone double Flamethrower and been fine. But I didn't want to be in a spot here where maybe even like they could Sand Tomb us and win the game that way. I have a full HP Empoleon. They have a Wigglytuff that might even just get Dragon Breath down. We'll take it. Let's go. That's 6-0 with this team. That's kind of crazy. There we go, got our next opponent. You guys are lucky you don't have to deal with these queue times. That was probably about 10 minutes of just waiting. Although that is a pretty good lead. We'll see if they're on Dragon Breath, I guess, but I would imagine Ember, maybe Wing Attack, would be the more preferred moveset. So, yeah, we do see an instant swap out by them. And if I'm being honest, I don't really have a great way of dealing with Shadow Sableye. I know this is only a foul play, though. I'm going to let this go, because I do survive it. And I have a lot of ways to deal with that Shadow Charizard, so I think just getting a shield advantage is not a bad play necessarily. We'll go for the Sky Attack right now. Our opponent likely will end up shielding, and I think now is a good time to bring in the Quagsire. 4, 5, so they have access to a foul play. I'm going to shield this up. I think at this point that is the play to go for. If I no-shield this, there's a chance they can farm us down later on. I am a little bit concerned that maybe an Aqua Tail is not enough in this range. So I'm going to go for a full-on Stone Edge. I think an Aqua Tail will be enough over time, but I don't think that's the case just yet. And Shadow Charizard, while it is a good Pokemon, it's pretty useless when the shields go down, so if they do shield that, then I think at this point, it's not going to have a lot of play this game necessarily, but maybe if they get like a big farm down somewhere, they could do something. We'll see, though. Okay. We'll go for the Aqua Tail now. Get the knockout against him. They can't really bring in Charizard here. Because, I mean, we were talking about this, right? Charizard, very, very squishy Pokemon. I have Aqua Tails. That would probably just one-shot them if they do bring it in. Unless they're just going to try to drain energy from me, I guess. That could be a play. Oh, Aegislash comes in. Interesting Pokemon to see. I think we should be fine here, though. I get so many Aqua Tails against them. And then, at the very least, I can bring in my, my guy, my Empoleon at some point. Ooh, they throw so quickly here. Is that the play for them? Maybe it is. That's actually, like, it will snipe down my energy that I have here on my Quagsire. I should have thrown a little bit sooner. I wasn't expecting them to throw right then. But they're going to be forced to do a swap out now into that Charizard. So it's a pretty obvious play that I do. I just bring in my Empoleon now, and I should be able to pretty easily land a Hydro Cannon into them here. And that's just going to one-shot them straight up. And then I'll have the ability to hopefully just utilize my Empoleon and my Altaria together to win this game. Okay, like 2 Hydro Cannons basically knock out here, right? 5. And they should be, at this point, like, if they ever throw energy into us here, they should be in, I think, Dragon Breath downrange? Maybe I'm crazy? But maybe I'm not. We attempt to catch. Looks like it works out for us. They have to fully charge this, because as I was saying, if they don't, they do just get Dragon Breath down. And, I mean, Psycho Cut, it has quite a bit of fast move pressure, despite the fact that it's non-stab, just because of how incredibly offensive Aegislash is. It's a little bit too slow, unfortunately, for them to get to a second move, so I'm able to pretty easily get this next Hydro Cannon off. Honestly, that was a bit of a sloppier endgame than it had to be. I wasted so much energy on my Quagsire I should have just thrown, but I never wanted to be in a spot where I gave, like, the Charizard any initiative, so I always wanted to keep energy on it, but well played to them, but we didn't lose to the Aegislash, so that's always good. And we got our next battle. Shadow Altaria into Florges. Okay, not a great lead, if I had to say so myself. Now, a lot of these Florges are not running Trailblaze anymore. That is the main thing that I've learned. A lot of the time, they're on Moonblast, Disarming Voice, Chilling Water, some sort of combination of those moves. So, it might be a little bit risky here, but I might try to call a bait. I might try to call this, and if I get Trailblazed in, like, one shot, that is bad. If I don't, then I'm happy. Okay, Chilling Water, that's good. That's a lot more playable than if I were just deleted there a second ago. And they try to catch here on a Malamar. Not a bad play. But I mean, at this point, I will be able to hopefully avoid the matchup of Florges into Altaria, at least for most of the game. Now, my attack has been debuffed here, so I do need to, like, double Stone Edge if I want to do anything against them. They've realized that, so they're going to throw energy before I get my next move. But I should be able to farm this down, and I guess we'll see. What I don't like about this game is they've had 2 things so far pretty weak to Empoleon. I don't think Malamar is that amazing, especially down energy into Empoleon, and Florges obviously very weak to it, so I just have to hope at this point that Empoleon's not completely hard countered in the back. I think the best case scenario is probably like a Corviknight or something. Let's see if I get the farm down here before they get another move off. Hopefully I do. We do. It's really close, but we just barely do. And since I am Shadow, I think this will guarantee a shield here from them, so we'll go for this. We'll see if we do get that shield, or maybe if they don't care about Florges at this point, they do shield that. We'll bring in Empoleon. We know they're not on Trailblaze, so they're just going to go for a Chilling Water here. Again, I guess just to debuff my attack stat, make it so whatever they have in the backline is going to be able to deal with this. Oh, they do have Trailblaze. Okay. Mudshot Diggersby, though. I think this might still be fine. I bet Hydro Cannon's still basically 2 shots. Dude, they had Trailblaze. I'm a psychopath. I no shielded that. I no shielded that with my dude. That's crazy. Quagsire could have just been deleted if I let that happen. That's crazy. Okay, but yeah, 2 Hydro Cannons. They still 2-shot here, so we should be fine. They're at 10. They're likely going to go straight Fire Punch here, but I think it's always worth just double shielding, because at this point, I have that Sky Attack loaded on my Altaria. Or I don't think I have a Sky Attack quite yet, but I'm very close to it. And they're not going to be able to do enough work here this game, I don't believe, to be able to win. We'll see, though. Maybe they try to go for, like, a catch. A catch would be an interesting play on their part, but they don't go for it, because honestly, even if they did go for a catch, I don't think that would have done much for them. A catch here, all it would have done is made it so then I Sky Attack the Diggersby instead. Florges will come back in, but they're so low at this point. I have that Sky Attack that I'm so close to on my Altaria, so we actually just get yet another win. Pretty bad lead. I guess I'm crazy and I called it Trailblaze bait, and luckily it worked out. Next game here. Let's see if we can keep it going. We've been on a pretty decent streak so far. Shadow Talonflame, I think that's actually quite a bit better for Shadow Altaria, because regular Altaria into Shadow Talonflame. I think actually loses the 2-shield matchup. It's crazy, because the Dragon Breaths just don't farm down. You get outpaced. So I guess this is probably pretty good for us. I get my Sky Attack off first. We'll see if we get his shield, or if our opponent, for some reason, no shields. I'd be surprised to see that, if I'm being completely honest. So likely a shield comes through. Yeah, makes sense. And now they're going to probably build up to like back-to-back attacks, maybe go for the double fly. But I think the play here for us is always just going to be try to farm this all the way down if possible. They're 1 away from their next move. It could be a Brave Bird on the next one, although I don't think that Shadow Talonflames really ever actually run that attack, so I guess we'll see what they throw. If they do stay in, we get that full farm down. If they swap out, we have a Sky Attack ready to go against whatever they bring in. Or maybe a Flamethrower if we need it. And I mean, I might as well just Flamethrower the Empoleon. I don't have a hard check to this in the backline, but if I do land this damage, I should be able to make it so my Quagsire can come in and hopefully put in quite a bit of work. 3, 4, 5. Okay, so right now, they are at a Hydro Cannon. I can do 3 more Mud Shots, throw the Aqua Tail. If they shield, I have back-to-back. If they no shield, then I'll have energy for the backline. So get up to back-to-back here, and then we'll throw our energy. I could have brought in Grammar Hard. I could have brought in my Empoleon here too to absorb the energy, but with a Talonflame lead, I feel like there's less of a chance that Quagsire is going to be all that useful in the backline. Well, that's not exactly what I was expecting to see. Altaria has a lot of work to do here this game. They're at 4, so they have a Night Slash right now. Do shield that. Ooh, nice catch, actually. We'll see how much that matters. Because I can bring in my Empoleon now, and this forces them to close combat us. And if they close combat us, then they're going to be debuffed. So maybe we win this? I don't know, actually, though. Because they're at 4 right now, so they're 4 away from double Night Slash. And I don't know here if I'm going to be able to either get a Sky Attack off or survive double Night Slashes here. I think they have us, actually. Well played. Really nice catch by them. That was an amazing catch. I kind of thought it was going to happen, but I didn't play around it well enough. I also didn't get enough of an energy lead. Ah, man. Like 1 second away from a catch there. Well played. Well played. I needed more of an energy lead on my my Empoleon, but I couldn't undercharge enough. That's a nicely played game by them. I guess if I'm going to lose, I might as well lose to someone who outplays me. So GG's. Empoleon, unfortunately, in the backline, I guess. I should have brought that into the opposing Empoleon. That's sad. Alright, next battle. A little bit impatient in that last game, honestly. I should have been able to win that one, I think, but I did play it a little bit inefficiently, so we'll see if we can win this one. Morpeko on the lead. Very annoying Pokemon oftentimes, but I am the Shadow Altaria, right? So my Dragon Breaths, as you can see here, are doing a decent chunk more damage than normal. This could be a Psychic Fangs bait, but either way, I'm happy to shielding, even if they do bait us, just because at this point, I do need this Pokemon as low as possible. My Empoleon on the back line would be dead to rights if it sees this, so we want to make sure that we are not in a really bad spot. They're at another Aura Wheel potentially right now. They might go for another bait because they know at this point if I don't shield this, then I get one-shot by an Aura Wheel. But they also know that they probably do want to guarantee that they actually get some damage off against us. But they could just go triple Psychic Fangs, I guess. That could be a play. But if they don't Psychic Fangs, if they go for an Aura Wheel, I should get a full farm down. Okay, they do full send. At this point, my defense is lowered, but I think that's fine. They're 1 away from the Psychic Fangs. So they do actually reach it. That's crazy. Morpeko is a little bit dumb sometimes. But I mean, I should survive this. I'll be in the red, but I'll be able to survive it. I'll have some energy for the backline. Wow, that does more than I thought it would. I mean, I guess that is technically a +2 Psychic Fangs, but I'm still like an Altaria. Shadow, sure, but like I'm still Altaria. I can't believe that did so much. Okay, Talon comes in. That is actually kind of scary. I don't know what to do here. I'm gonna have to swap, I think. I can't give them a farm down. Oh, dude. No. That is game over. I just got RPS'd as hard as I could have in the backline. Chestnut's always gonna sweep me with his shield advantage. Dang it. We went from 3-0 to 3-2 so quickly there. I think I could have won one of those games. That Morpeko, maybe if I call it Psychic Fangs earlier, would be a little bit easier. Because honestly, Shadow Altaria was like triple strong to that team. Wait, I didn't even see how much elo we gained there. That did not look like much of a climb, though. That's fine, you know, we got some nice wins, though, with Shadow Altaria. It did pretty well. I guess give it a go if you have one. I think it's a pretty fun Pokemon. It does kind of lack the bulk, I guess, that the regular Altaria has, but I mean, it's still pretty fun to use. It's got a lot of fast move pressure that Altaria generally is lacking in this meta. But through and through, very strong Pokemon. Give it a go if you have one. I think this team is pretty good. Chestnut is not great for it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.